Your mind plays a critical role in how you cope with life's challenges. Using the human sciences, this module will help you to uncover and change inherited glitches that negatively impact your results. In this module, you'll learn key principles to effectively understand why your mind really does matter when it comes to living a more fulfilled life. The principles we'll be looking at include what mindset is and how they are formed, the difference between a fixed and growth mindset, what we currently know about the mind and how it works, the key to changing mindsets, why what we know doesn't cut it when it comes to taking action, and the law of repetition, and then finally, how to rise above your outdated thinking and beliefs. Let's start with a quick look at mindset. Mindset can generally be defined as the underlying assumptions that shape your ability to perceive and understand the world. Mindset is a deep psychological construct that underpins your personality. It's a set of beliefs, conclusions, values, and practices that constitute the way you view reality. Your mindset is responsible for the judgments you place on yourself, other people, and the world around you. It's an internal program that runs subconsciously in the background of your life and ultimately creates your results. The mindset that you have adopted acts like a puppet master, pulling the everyday strings of your individual life and our collective future possibilities. With appropriate ability and conditions, you can consciously choose to shift your mindset. A mindset shift is a change to a new way of thinking or a new set of rules that you choose to live by. And when your rules change, the whole world will appear to be changing to a new game. Creating a shift in your mindset and beliefs can promote long-term improvements in well-being and resilience, and even small shifts can produce big systemic changes. In short, when you change your mindset, you change the way you create your results. As a young child, you were carefully observing your environment, and through osmosis, the worldly wisdom and rules for living offered by the people in your environment were planted, without your knowledge or choice, directly into your subconscious mind. Up to the age of 7, you spent approximately 90% of your waking hours using a brain that was mostly operating in the lower brain frequencies of delta and theta. These are highly suggestible and hypnotic mental states. This is nature's clever way of speeding up your capacity to learn the thousands of rules required to be a human. In this state of consciousness, you would easily absorb an incredible amount of information about how to thrive in your environment. However, without having the ability to question what was being received, you simply accepted all the information, whether it would serve you or harm you. And then, as a result, what you noticed, especially your parents' behavior and their cultural beliefs and practices, they became your rules for living. You took this information on without any analysis, no judgment or reasoning or even questioning. The fundamental behaviours, beliefs, and attitudes you observed become hardwired as synaptic pathways in your brain and automatic programs in your subconscious mind. Once fixed into the subconscious mind, they become your rules for living. They control your biology and your results for the rest of your life, unless you take the time to learn how to change them. So the genetically programmed instincts and the beliefs you learned from your parents and environment collectively form your subconscious mind and influence your mindset. Even as an adult, the programming doesn't stop. Once you accept the point of view of others as truth, their perceptions become hardwired in you, becoming your truth. The customs of society and workplace culture pull you along your individual journey. Most of the time, it just feels right to go along, conform, and fit in. Other people's beliefs and behaviours become very attractive when they help us to fit in. As your awareness and self-confidence grows, and as you begin to self-author your life, fitting in loses its attractiveness, and you begin to celebrate your own uniqueness. Stanford University psychologist Carol Dweck is accredited with discovering a simple but groundbreaking idea: the power of mindset. Her research has helped us better understand how our results can be dramatically influenced by how we think about our talents and abilities. Dweck uncovered a unique mindset continuum that has people moving between being predominantly in either a fixed or growth mindset. People with more of a fixed mindset tend to believe that their abilities are fixed, and people with more of a growth mindset usually believe that abilities can be developed. Understanding the principles and ideas behind a fixed and growth mindset can help you to foster outstanding accomplishment. You can identify a person who has a predominantly fixed mindset as they want to look smart and sometimes cheat and lie to do so. They believe that intelligence is static, that people are born with certain gifts and abilities that can't be changed. They will avoid challenges, they're fearful of making a mistake. They become defensive and give up easily. They see continual effort as useless and they ignore useful feedback. They may even shut down the messenger or point out the messenger's faults to make themselves look good. They are threatened by other people's success. The side effect of playing too long at this end of the continuum is that they may plateau early and not reach their full potential. You can spot a person with a growth mindset as they have a desire to learn, and they are open to new ideas and other people's suggestions, and curious about concepts and about people. They believe intelligence evolves. They embrace change and see challenges and struggle as a way to build new skills. They persist in the face of setbacks. They see effort as the path to mastery. They welcome and learn from feedback and criticism. They see lessons and inspiration in other people's success. The side effect of adopting more of a growth mindset means you are more likely to reach higher levels of achievement. Remember, this is a continuum, and depending on the situation and your level of self-awareness, you may find yourself switching between both. Now that you understand mindset, it's a good idea to have an understanding of how your mind works. This knowledge will help you to see why you're experiencing mixed results in your life, and more importantly, why it's best to approach change through small daily practices and rituals. The diagram I'm about to show you is a simple way to help you understand what is going on below the surface in your life. Don't let its simplicity fool you. In fact, I encourage you to revisit this information more than once so that you can fully understand the unrealized potential that's lying dormant within you. In this image, the larger cog represents your mind, the smaller cog represents your brain and your body. We are going to look at 3 key areas of your mind to help you get a clear picture of what is happening when information from your environment reaches you. We'll start with the conscious part of your mind. Your conscious mind controls 5% of what you do. This is the part of you that thinks, reasons, and creates. Information from the outside world enters your consciousness through your 5 senses, and it's your conscious mind that accepts or rejects ideas from the outside world. This is the part of you that makes choices, or, as some would suggest, the home of your free will. You will soon see with this diagram how the thoughts you choose eventually determine the results in your life. Your conscious mind usually operates in the past through your memories and the future through your imagination, and its processing is limited to between 5 to 9 bits of information per second. Your conscious mind is where you do all of your thinking. However, there are times when your ability to think switches off, and these are in moments when you're either fascinated, stressed, or even surprised. The conscious part of your mind is also where you'll find your mental muscles. Mental muscles, also known as mental faculties, are just like any other physical muscle. The more you use them, the stronger they become. And the opposite is also true. The less you use them, the weaker they become. The saying, use it or lose it, applies to both your mental faculties and your physical muscles. There are 6 mental muscles: focus, perception, memory, imagination, reason, and intuition. The first mental muscle we will look at is focus. This is your ability to hold an idea or image or even your goal on the screen of your mind and not be distracted. Researchers in Canada studied 2,000 people to measure their ability to focus. They selected 112 of the participants to have their brain activity monitored. The results showed the average human attention span has fallen from 12 seconds in the year 2000 to 8 seconds. Goldfish, meanwhile, are believed to have an attention span of 9 seconds. Other researchers found that human attention span decreases by a whopping 88% every year. Take a minute to soak that in. How can you stay locked into this training module or your goal or even creating a new habit if your attention span is declining? The answer is simple. Strengthen your ability to focus through practice and by removing distractions. Focus is an important muscle to strengthen, especially when you're moving towards your goal or embarking on a new project. This muscle is not to be confused with willpower. Willpower and focus are different tools that you have at your disposal. Willpower is like a gas tank. At the beginning of the day, it's full. And if you're using your willpower to try and create new behaviours, you'll find by the end of the day you're mentally exhausted and your old behaviours will kick back into action. Another of your mental muscles is memory. Memory at a conscious level is what we call declarative memory. These are the events that you can declare. These are the things that you remember and you use your conscious faculty to recall those situations from your past. You also have non-declarative memories. They are a tool of the subconscious mind and include your habits and emotional reactions, which we will get to when we're looking at the subconscious mind. The interesting thing about memory is that a lot of people believe they don't have a good memory, when most of the time, unless they have had a brain injury or trauma, their memory is merely weak. They haven't used it enough, and in this day and age, you'll find that we rely so much on technology that our memories are becoming weaker. One of the most important mental muscles is imagination. This is your creative faculty. This is where you create your dreams and your goals and your desires. They all start in the conscious mind. Imagination is extremely important for you as you move towards your improvement goals. It will be your imagination that helps you to formulate plans, come up with solutions, and create an identity that's matched to the realization of your goals. When you think about imagination, don't be fooled into thinking this is the realm of children. Imagination is your superpower. As humans, we have used imagination to create anything in this world that was not created by Mother Nature. The way that you are participating in this program was thought up in somebody's imagination. If you're sitting on a seat, somebody came up with that idea or design using their imagination. Think of all the technologies that we now use. Simple things like a lawnmower, an electric car, a light bulb, a mobile phone, Bluetooth, virtual reality. All of these things were created in the imagination of a human being. Your perception is also another conscious mental muscle. This allows you to step into the shoes of other people and to see things from different points of view. We have an entire module on perception because perception really does become an anchoring point and a great skill to have to allow you to truly self-author your life. Intuition can also be described as a mental muscle. This is your conscious way of noticing the signals, signs, and sensations that are unique to you. It's a direct download of information that you may not be able to recall using your memory, or direct download of information from another level of existence. There's a lot of research being done in relation to intuition at the moment, and I'm sure that more will be uncovered into this interesting faculty that we all possess. Your ability to pay attention to, notice, and decipher your unique intuitive signals are what creates this mental muscle. The more you listen to your intuitive signals, the stronger they become, and the more familiar they are to you. The stronger your intuitive abilities are, the easier it will be for you to step forward with faith in the direction that you want to go. Intuition can be likened to a quiet whisper that's pointing you in the right direction and nudging you with ideas towards your goals. The final mental muscle is reason. This is your ability to think, and the more you think, the better you become at thinking. To strengthen this mental muscle would mean not taking on the words and ideas of other people, but thinking for yourself and coming to your own conclusions. Now that we have covered the conscious part of your mind, I'm going to talk to you about the analytical mind. The analytical mind measures what you currently know against what you don't know or haven't yet experienced. It searches for evidence that you can or can't do something and looks for familiar patterns. It scans your mind for internal imagery and beliefs, acting like a guard to ensure you don't take on information or take actions that are not aligned to your existing assumptions, knowledge, or belief systems. Essentially, it draws conclusions and reinforces your subconscious programming and habits. This part of you likes to think inside the box and contributes to fixed mindset thinking. Its purpose is to keep you safe. Daily declarations of purpose, mental rehearsal, activating an alter ego, and visualizations are all tools you can use to create new programming before an event to prevent the analytical mind from sabotaging your efforts. Let's look at the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a database of stored programs whose role is to read your environment and switch on the appropriate hardwired automatic behavioral programs. Your subconscious asks no questions, has no judgments, and makes no choices. It can't reject anything and has no concept of whether the environmental signals are real or imagined. It simply finds the stored program and runs it. Your subconscious programs create both the negative and the positive results you experience in life. Your subconscious is the most significant part of you. It controls 95% of what you do. It is the power center that uses the language of feelings and emotions, and it functions in every single cell of your body. It accepts everything you choose to believe. It has no concept of time and functions as if everything you do is happening now. If you recall a memory or think into the future, it thinks it's all happening now and will create an emotional charge to match the imagined experience. Any thought you consciously choose and is accepted by the analytical mind eventually becomes a part of your personality and mindset. Your subconscious beliefs, values, habits, and self-image are continually expressed through your words and actions without any conscious assistance until they are replaced. Your subconscious mind knows no limits except those you consciously choose. It absorbs millions of bits of sensory information through the nervous system in any 1 second and stores them without your conscious awareness. You can change the subconscious program through constant spaced repetition and becoming emotionally involved in the change you want to make by attaching an elevated emotion to the new activity or belief. Creating a daily ritual that you look forward to or repeating a declaration of purpose until it becomes an automatic behavior are simple and effective ways to install a new program at the subconscious level. The subconscious can also be upgraded by an emotional impact. These are events that carry an emotional charge unique to you. They can include things like feedback, insults, a health scare, and even the news. Any event that carries a significant emotional impact for you has the potential to cause immediate positive or negative change in your subconscious programming and ultimately your behavior. Let's have a look at your brain and your body. Your brain is not your mind. It acts as a switching station for the mind, creating neural networks and synaptic connections for your stored programs. Habits are your brain's way of operating in an efficient manner. When you do something more than once, your brain pays attention, sees the repeated behavior as important, and memorizes the behavior by creating a habit. Habits will inevitably be formed for anything that is done repeatedly, regardless of whether it is intentional and helpful or unintentional and obstructive. Most of us create habits unwittingly. However, with this knowledge, you can consciously create habits that serve your goal. Certain brainwaves access different parts of your mind, while the different areas of your brain are known to have direct links to the conscious, analytical, subconscious parts of your mind. Although your body is the most obvious part of you, its power is rather small in comparison to what your mind can do. Your body is merely the instrument of the mind, or the house you live in. Your repeated thoughts make you feel a certain way. How you feel at a subconscious level is what moves your body into action or inaction. Any actions you are involved in determines your reality and your results. Approximately 5% of your daily actions you consciously choose. The remaining 95% of your actions are habitual and controlled unconsciously by the subconscious and autonomic nervous system. Now that you have an understanding of how the mind works, you can see why change can be hard. We use 5% of our conscious power to decide on the new behavior or way of being that will get us to our goal. Rarely do we realize that there is a powerful internal contradiction at play. The power of our deeply ingrained and well-established emotional reactions, habits, routines, beliefs, values, and assumptions that are at odds with our conscious desires. As you begin to gather information with your conscious mind and plan the moves you will make to achieve your goal, you will soon realize that even though you know what needs to be done, that is, you have the knowledge and information and you think you have put the right structures and processes in place, but for some reason it's not translating into action. The conscious mind's creative and reasoning faculties have done their job. You have such good intentions and even some well thought out plans. But time is passing and very little, if anything, is being done at your end. This lack of action or procrastination and what seems to be self-sabotage is simply the result of how your mind works. You know what needs to be done because you have stored information and knowledge at the conscious level of your mind. However, it's the subconscious that drives your actions 95% of the time. Having information and knowledge rarely leads to effective action. There are countless people who know that saving is a good wealth strategy, yet they don't save. Most people know that health is a result of eating fresh, healthy food, getting good sleep, and moving, yet few people actually do these things. You fill your conscious mind with countless amounts of information from books, training sessions, podcasts, TED Talks, but it won't necessarily translate into action. This separation between having the information and doing something with it is called the knowing-doing gap. This gap is often caused by a misalignment between the new idea or goal, which is held in the conscious mind, and your existing subconscious program. Having a sound understanding of how the mind works, along with knowing how to create a subconscious program that is aligned to your improvement goal, will help you put your knowledge and information into action. The most effective way to close the knowing-doing gap is to work with the law of repetition. When creating new behaviors or learning something new, you are working with neuroscience's law of repetition. In the 1970s, neurobiologist Eric Kandel discovered the central role synapses play in memory and learning. His studies uncovered that when you learn something new, you create new synapses. However, if you don't revisit the information or repeat it within hours or days, the synapses prune apart. This is why applying the law of repetition consistently by establishing daily habits or rituals is extremely important in making the positive changes in your life. Neuroscience has made powerful discoveries in relation to repetition and its ability to change the structure of your brain. It's called neuroplasticity. When your brain cells begin to fire together repeatedly, they then wire together, leading to new neural pathways and over time become retained knowledge, new habits, and refined actions. Most people give up when they struggle to change their existing programming or assimilating complex information. It is in the struggle phase that you are building the neural connections, and in the moments of rest and recovery, neural connections continue to solidify. Repetition or practice strengthens these pathways, eventually making the thoughts, feelings, and actions automatic. When you stop thinking, feeling, and acting in certain ways, the associated synaptic connections belonging to those redundant thoughts and habits begin to weaken and prune apart due to lack of use. For you, the law of repetition is an important law to understand and apply, because with repeated and direct attention towards a desired change, you can rewrite your brain for success. Even though it's not exactly clear how long it takes to form a habit, research in the European Journal of Social Psychology uncovered that it could take anywhere between 18 to 254 days for a new behaviour to come naturally to a person. However, the length of time will depend on the complexity of the new habit. The research concluded that repetition for at least 66 days greatly increases the odds of making permanent change. Now that you understand that your mind really does matter when it comes to making positive changes that allow you to achieve your goals, I encourage you to refer to the RISE framework to help you transcend to a higher level of awareness and mental complexity. The first step is to realize. Understand that you have subconscious systems and programs that drive 95% of your behavior, and that they will have both positive and negative implications on your results. Then you need to identify the aspects of your subconscious program that no longer serve you. Once you have identified the outdated beliefs and non-productive habits, you will need to substitute the old for something new. Choose productive actions, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in the form of declarations of purpose to override the negative aspects of your subconscious program. And finally, remember, change is not a passive process. It takes effort. Effort to change. Reflection and repetition are the real heroes in creating subconscious systems that are aligned to your improvement goal and the positive changes you are seeking.